So, talking about a really cool lens that Sigma came out with recently, and that is the Sigma 17 to 40 1.8. Essentially, it's just the Sigma 18 to 35, which they released years ago, made a lot of waves, and basically designed for mirrorless cameras. It's a very cool lens. Have it right here. I have been using this with my FX30, and I think the lens is great. I actually own the Sigma 16-1.4. I've had the Sigma 30-1.4 and the 56. All great lenses. I think for me though, the gripe was just carrying all those lenses with me. And yes, this is a 17 to 40, so you can't really replace the 56-1.4, but for the most part, you're really covering all your bases with this lens. And I think this is a great option for those of us who don't want to carry a ton of prime lenses and just want an all-in-one solution of just being able to get the shot quickly, but still have that nice 1.8. Yeah, it's not 1.4 like the Sigma 16 or the 23 or the 56, or the 30, but it gets the job done. Now, when I tested this lens in terms of autofocus on the FX, and then I'm just speaking from a FX30 Sony perspective, it's great. It's sharp, at low light, does great, no gripes, chromatic aberration is minimal. I'm not the type to do lens tests. I'm just more about how is the lens practically in use. So I went to Old Town Orange with a buddy of mine, had them be a stand-in. It had some like neon lights and ambience, and basically I was just trying to see how the autofocusing was in low light, and it did great. I don't think this is necessarily, if you have the Sigma 16-1.4, the 30, 56, should you still pick up this lens? Yes, I still think you should, because I think this is great for event work, especially on a gimbal. The fact that it internally zooms, that's a really big game changer in itself. But yeah, I think this is definitely a pickup a lot of people should consider. It's really cool for those of us that own an XH2S, because you get that 17 to 40 range, and you get that 1.8 with that open gate capability. That's just chef's kiss right there. So yeah, I think that's a really good, just bravo to Sigma, just making a lens like that. So RF, I think Leica L mount as well, Sony and Fuji. So it's just a cool lens. I think, like I said, I'm not gonna nitpick chromatic aberration or pin cushion distortion or whatever. I think just from a practical, real world use, it's an instant cop. If you own the 18 to 35, you are not going to be disappointed with this 17 to 40 1.8, and especially for the price. I was expecting with everything going on, economically, this lens was going to be priced $1,300 minimum, but for them to price it at $950 or something like that in the US, that's a steal. And I think, like I said, for any of us that are in the APS-C realm, for work too, especially, if you're like a C70 user, XH2S, or in my case FX30, heck, even like an FS7, I think this lens is an instant cop if you do a lot of documentary or event work. So yeah, overall, love the lens. Don't think there's anything you can go wrong with it. I am curious to see, will Sigma come out with a new version of the 50 to 100 now? That was for DSLRs. So will it be a 50 to 100, or will it be like a 60 to 100 or 110, 1.8? I don't know. But it's cool lens. I think Sigma really hit it out the park with this one. So highly recommend. Check it out. But yeah, just love the images.